Welcome, Darin J, Sallam, and congratulations for creating such a beautiful and moving work of art in Farha. It's so great to have you here and to hear a little bit more from you. So welcome.
Thank you, Natalia. I'd like to thank you and the Toronto International Film Festival for screening, for having the world premiere of Farha. I made this film from my heart to the people, and I'm so glad that it will be screened for the first time in the People's Festival.
We are excited as well. And I mean, watching it, you can absolutely tell where this film came from. I wonder maybe if you could just tell us more about that journey and what it was like to make this film.
Actually, there was, in 1948, in Palestine, there was a girl. Her name was Radiyah. And she's the inspirational character of the film. She made it to Syria. And there she met a young girl, and she shared her story with her. This young girl grew up and got married, and she gave birth to a daughter, and this daughter happened to be me. So my mother shared this story with me when I was young. Wow. And I couldn't stop thinking about this girl and this setup she was put in, and she stayed with me for years, especially that I have this... I'm claustrophobic, and I had this fear of closed places. So I kept thinking of how she felt and what happened to her, and this urge of telling her story kept growing within me until I became a filmmaker and I wrote the script.
Wow! And what was that process like, writing the script, having held on to that story for so long?
Actually, it wasn't easy, but I found out that it's just the setup that is really attractive. Of course, the whole thing, but for me as a filmmaker, I needed to build a new world around this setup that I heard that was really, really powerful to me, and that inspired me. So I had to change many elements and recreate this world of the film and form the script and the story of Farha my way. But this girl and this setup stayed the way it was, and then everything happened inside of the room. Of course, is fictional, but this girl is the inspiration.
And
so it was a long process. Sometimes I was afraid to because it's not easy to tell such a story. I felt responsible. So when I got a little bit disconnected, and it was more comfortable for me to recreate it.
And then building it as you saw it come together, as you were pulling in the bits and pieces, because I mean, the opening sequence, the opening scene act, I guess, is so rich with mise en scène. You're completely sucked into Farha's world, and what it was like, the beauty of what it was like for her to exist in that space, all right before it comes crashing down. What was it like to see all and build all of that together?
It's a very good question. Natalia, when you hear the word Palestine, you always think of hardship. And this is what made me wanna go back in time and recreate this whole world of Farha, because there was a life, and I wanted to show these through costume design, wardrobe, and production design, and cinematography, and even performances of the actors. I wanted to recreate the traditions, the cultures, the life that was there that most people don't know about. Actually, it was the colors. Each village has embroidery design for itself. So it's like a lot of details that I like. You see these books, it has a lot of details about these things, and I enjoyed the research while making this film.
Yeah. Wow. That's an incredible amount of research. Very detailed.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you named the performers. I mean, maybe if you could speak about what that was like to work with such experienced performers like Ashraf Barhom and Ali Sulman, but also our newcomer and our Tiff Rising star, Karam Tahar. Please tell us what it was like working with this amazing cast.
Of course, like when I'm directing, one of the most things that I enjoy is directing actors. It's always my favorite part, because I love other stuff, of course, but this is something that I really enjoy. And so the casting process is really crucial to me always, to choose the right cast for the characters and for the roles. And in Farha specifically, I always knew it's not going to be easy. So we started early in the casting process, and I saw many girls. I auditioned many girls throughout this process, and I because we don't have child actors in the region, it's not something familiar or normal to find. So I knew that I'm gonna need time to work with her, especially that it will be like most of the film will be on her and with her. So I needed to find the right person. And when I saw Karam in the audition, to be honest, it wasn't a good first audition, but I saw something in her, and I decided to bet on her and to take this risk on her. And then we started the training and the workshops. I started with her. I started with some psychodrama and other trainings, of course, and I let her meet Tala, who played Farida, to create the chemistry and the friendship between them. And then when I felt she's ready to stand in front of camera with Ashraf Barhom as her father and Ali Sleman as her uncle, like I felt she's ready, and that was the time that we went into production. It wasn't. I mean, it was not easy. It's a challenge to have this balance between an actress and of course established actors like Ashraf Barhom and Ali Sleman. It was a challenge that I enjoyed again, and of course they're amazing, and they didn't make her feel like. Of course, it was a nice chemistry at the end. It wasn't easy, but it was at the end. The results are, I think, nice. Hopefully, people.
I think so. I mean, what an incredible performer you found in that spark. I mean, it's 50 minutes on screen, 52 minutes. Yeah, she's 52 minutes on screen by herself as a first-time actor. It's incredible. Next to such experienced actors, it's truly something. So you also have quite the eye, clearly, for performers. Yeah,
I hope so. Thank you.
I guess why don't we talk a little bit about your production team, this women-led production team, and a production team largely of people of Palestinian descent, right? Of Palestinian people who are also sharing this collective memory with you and working together to bring this into life. What was that like?
I'm proud that my producing team was led by women, by these two committed and serious producers who trusted me blindly, and who are really powerful women who really make things happen, and who made sure to choose 50% of the people who worked on Farha women.
Nice.
And like you said, we had some Pan-Arab crew members as well. But yes, like I was lucky that most of the crew members, if not all of them, had some connection with the film and the content. So, for example, one of the times I heard some voices, and I found out that in the video village there are some crew members crying behind the monitor, watching some scene, remembering some memories or something that it reminded them of something that their parents told them or grandparents told them from Palestine. But also we were also lucky to have the extras from the Palestinian Gaza camp for refugees in Jordan here. They were the extras. And one time they were, after finishing their scene, they were sitting watching the separation scene between Farha and Farida. And they were behind the scenes, like next to me, and they're crying, they're emotional. And I was like, bring the camera on, let's shoot them crying. No, I'm joking, but it was, I was touched because they were telling me we're reliving what our like families told us. I was touched by this, and I felt that I'm really lucky that not only me feel the story and the origins of the story and how this girl would feel, but everybody else around was kind of touched.
Yeah. And it also almost, I think, it must be sort of like a, maybe this is the wrong word, but validating to know as you're retelling the story that others are seeing themselves reflected, and that you know that there's some sort of, again, this word, but what does it mean? But authenticity, you know, that there's some sort of authentic element to the film that connects people. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then talk us through that really pivotal scene, the climax that takes place in the film. What was it like to depict such an intense scene of genocidal violence?
This scene, Natalia, is 15 pages.
Wow.
And yes, it was a very challenging scene to shoot because it was shot on only the parts that happened outside of the pantry, not Farha's reaction. Only the parts that happened in front of Farha was shot over like 4 days. So, and we had, like we saw, 10 actors, 2 of them are children, and from different acting levels and backgrounds. Some of them are non-actors and some. So it was really challenging for me as a director, the choreography, but also the emotional arc throughout this, like the 4 days, and how we have to pick up from where we left yesterday emotionally. Yeah, and like one of the things that I've done is not telling the actors where the camera is, because it was already too much. It's overwhelming, and like everything's happening. I wanted them to be in the moment and not focus where the camera, because the camera was inside the room, the pantry, and we had many cracks and underneath the door, but also the hole on the other side. And I didn't want them to, like, you know, knowing where the camera is or affecting their performance. So this is one of the things that they also experienced for the first time, which hopefully made that performance more, like you said, authentic. But it was a challenging sequence, and you know, we had a duplicate of this pantry in a studio.
Okay.
Yes, so this scene was shot like I told you, everything happening outside in a location, the real location, and Farha's reactions to what's happening in the studio in some other day. And yeah, and the production got me this device where I can communicate with Karam, because it was a very intimate relationship, and we had I know some people think this is wrong, but it was working with us. We were communicating all the time, talking. Only she can hear me, what I'm saying, what I'm going, like she's going through this with me, or I'm going through this with her. It's like the same, actually. But it was a very, like, it was intense, even for the crew. And I decided not to show the killing, if you remember, because I felt hearing it is more powerful. Sound is more effective sometimes. And the sound, like we saw, was written in the film, and the sound designer and the sound team did an amazing job, of course, in this. But to me, this moment where the family die, it was really important to me not to see it, because like nothing could be as crucial as the reality. So I wanted people to think it and imagine it the way they want.
Yeah, that's so, I think that's really thoughtful. I mean, obviously, it's very thoughtful to have 15 pages written about such a pivotal scene and to take your time in shooting it, because I think oftentimes, you know, budgets run film sets and not the kind of emotional well-being of the cast and crew and the authenticity of the story. And so it's really nice to hear that that was the priority, but that you're right, it is this like, you can never fully capture that. So the decision, I think, to show Farha's reactions and to hear the moment do really land heavily. Yeah. I mean, there's so much else to say, but perhaps I will just ask you, I mean, what were you hoping to leave audiences with when you made this film? What would you like people to take away from it?
Actually, it's a very good question. Actually, I really wanted, the reason why I stayed inside of the room, and this is one of the challenges that I was like, the reaction to this decision was always, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to leave the room? I was like, yes, because I want people to relive this experience, to feel with her and feel and see everything through her eyes. So I want people to see this narrative through the eyes of this 14-year-old girl, and she's one only from like many stories. I want to say that there was land, and there was like people and life. They had life. Yes, and I think like everybody could take something with him or her, because it depends on their background, what they know and what they don't. But I think I also want to say that if the old died, the young will always remember, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, and now we can't forget either, because you've given us this beautiful gift, right? So I
hope that one, like I'm gonna die, but the film will live, and then this is, yeah.
You've given the world an incredible gift, and I think, yeah, you should be. I mean, we are grateful. I am grateful. Thank you for your work on this wonderful project. Thank you to your team, and we're so excited to see more from you and more from our Tiff Rising Star Karam Tahar and your wonderful production team. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I really, based on your last question, I really hope to know or hear what people took with them when they saw the film and what they felt or so. I hope I get the chance somehow to know or hear the feedback from people. I hope everybody who's listening now that you enjoyed the film and it was a good experience for you.
Yes, tweet, put it online, put your feedback on social media. Darin would like to see it.
Yes, please, I do. Yeah. Yes, it's really important to me. It's the first time that the film is being screened, so it's this is why we make films, for the people.
Absolutely. Thank you, Darin.
Thank you very much, Natalia.
Okay, talk to you soon. Take care.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.